It's been long debated which distortion pedal Kurt Cobain used for Nirvana's final song, You Know You're Right, but it's been narrowed down to be either the Boss HM3 or the Ibanez SM9. In my recent You Know You're Right tone video, I showed how with my setup, the Ibanez SM9 got much closer than the Boss pedal did. And in this video, we'll be doing a much more in-depth tone shootout with these two pedals. But before we get into it, I'm very excited to say that we now have a definitive answer as to which of these two pedals Kurt Cobain used at Nirvana's final session. The day I uploaded my You Know You're Right tone video, Nirvana guitar tech Ernie Bailey reached out to me to let me know that he had watched it. He was there at Nirvana's final session, and Kurt showed up with no gear, so what he ended up using was a left-handed Univox that Ernie happened to have in his car and Ernie's pedal board. Here is what Ernie shared with me.
Big thank you for your kind words and the You Know You're Right story. I had the lower gain preamp tubes I bought in New York for the unplugged twin in my work box and used those in the Marshall 50 combo to clean it up. It was 100% the Boss Hyper Metal 2. Vivid recollection because it was a memorable situation we were in. I had an SM9 on my board which was replaced by the Boss. The SM9 was great with single coil pickups, and there was something regarding Nirvana, but I don't recall what it is.
So there we have it, a long debated Nirvana gear mystery answered by one of the very few people who can definitively say what it was. As I stated in my tone video, even though the Ibanez got much closer for me than the Boss did, I was not about to announce or officially say that Kurt Cobain used this Ibanez pedal. I have no right to make definitive statements like that, I wasn't there. And this goes to prove a point that I've brought up in past videos, that there are multiple ways to skin a cat. There is not just one definitive gear combination to recreate any tone. There are so many variables, especially if you're recreating old tones present day. With modern digital amp simulators, you can basically make any guitar sound like any tone if you really try hard enough. Today's technology and the software is that amazing. I will forever say that the only people who can truly weigh in on what was definitively used in a historic context are the people who were there. The people who saw this gear with their own eyes and heard these tones in person. Huge, tremendous shout out to Ernie Bailey. I don't even know where to start. This guy is one of my heroes, and I'm very honored to say that he's my friend. One of the kindest and warmest people that I have ever met. I'm extremely honored to have the privilege to share his insight about these gear mysteries with the Nirvana community at large. This is what we do here at Nirvana Guitars. We're tackling Nirvana gear mysteries one pedal and one guitar at a time. So, even though we now know that the SM9 was not used, this guitar has been tied to the You Know You're Right lore for years. So, I thought it'd be fun to compare these two pedals while I have them. In this shootout, I'll be using the Univox Phase I Custom modded to Kurt's specs that I used in my You Know You're Right cover and tone video. This extremely beautiful guitar and these pedals are courtesy of my amazing and generous friend John, who sent me these to borrow so I can create content like this with. Huge shout out to you, man. I'll never be able to thank you enough for your trust and your generosity. You're a real one. I will be playing through my Fender Tone Master Twin Reverb. I'll be playing through songs from each of Nirvana's 3 studio albums, with the pedal settings changing every few songs so we can get a bigger picture and a wider scope as to what these pedals can do. Amp settings will be staying the same for the entire video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you surprised or not surprised to learn that Kurt definitively used the HM3 for You Know You're Right? And which of these two pedals do you personally prefer?